You thought you knew the Game Boy Advance? Think again. Today, we're going to talk about 15 most unique, weirdly brilliant, and criminally under-discussed GBA games that no one talks about, but absolutely should. From ninja cops to duct tape-wielding boxers, this is the badass list that'll make you want to blow the dust off your old cartridge stack. So smash that like button, drop a comment telling us your GBA holy grail, and let's see how many of these gems you actually knew existed. Wario Land 4. This ain't your average money-grubbing adventure. It's a chaotic, platforming fever dream with attitude, bling, and a cursed pyramid. Released in 2001 for the Game Boy Advance, this gem launched with enough charisma to punch a Goomba straight back into 8-bit purgatory. The plot? Classic Wario. Our mustachioed anti-hero sees a newspaper article about a lost pyramid and immediately says, "Treasure? Say less." Inside, he ends up chasing a black cat, plummets into the depths, and finds himself locked in with cursed bosses, ancient passageway, and one seriously diversified villain. Gameplay-wise, it's juicy. There are 4 themed worlds: Emerald, nature; Ruby, machines; Topaz, toys; and Sapphire, spook central, each with 4 levels and a boss. You collect gem shards and Kaiser creatures, bash through puzzles, stomp baddies, and then speed run back to the start after slamming a time switch. If you dawdle, you lose your loot. It's high-stakes hoarding at its finest, plus Wario's got a health bar now, so yeah, he's mortal, kinda. Every boss fight is a weird, wild fever dream, and depending on your performance, Princess Shakura's true form changes at the end. Best version? Obviously the warrior goddess. Worst case, she's a brat. Either way, Wario still scores treasure and a kiss. Iconic. Shining Soul 2. Nobody expects an epic RPG saga to be hiding inside a Game Boy Advance cartridge the size of a chicken nugget. But Shining Soul 2 just kicks in the dungeon doors and screams, "Let's grind!" This 2004 gem is a hack-and-slash dungeon crawler that feels like someone shoved Diablo, Gauntlet, and a bag of jelly beans into a GBA and hit power. You choose from 8 different character classes, like a spear-hucking archer, a beefy dragonute, or a dark wizard who just radiates goth energy. And you're thrown into a chaotic world where balance between light and dark is shattered. The game doesn't waste time with pleasantries. You'll be deep into dungeons, juggling 3 weapons at a time, summoning elemental soul powers, chugging potions, and praying that the next treasure chest isn't just another cursed banana peel. The story starts with a kidnapped princess and ends with a cosmic entity called Chaos threatening reality itself. That's one hell of a curve. Multiplayer via link cable lets you and your buds turn this action fest into a portable co-op rave. With level caps reaching 200 and an actual resistance system that grows if you survive certain elemental damage, this game is like a mini MMO you can play while pretending to do homework. Absolute sleeper hit. Shaman King, Master of Spirits 2. Ever wanted a side-scrolling Castlevania but with spiky-haired shamans and flaming ghost gods? Shaman King, Master of Spirits is basically that fever dream on a GBA cartridge, and it absolutely slaps. Dropped in 2005, this sequel from Konami picks up with Yo Asakura once again doing what he does best, punching his way through spiritual catastrophes with a posse of ghost buddies and a heart of gold, kind of. The plot kicks off with the Shaman tournament getting put on hold because the King of Spirits is ghosting everyone, literally. Meanwhile, Zeke is out there collecting souls like he's prepping for a dark Pokemon championship. And it's up to Yo to stop his soul-devouring spirit of fire from turning Doby Village into a ghost town buffet. The story might sound like your average anime arc, but the action? Chef's kiss. Gameplay is a Metroidvania-style blend of slash-and-jump platforming with an ever-growing arsenal of spirit power. You'll unlock new abilities by defeating enemies and collecting guardian spirits, who can dish out everything from healing buffs to screen-clearing death beams. Bosses include both fan favourites and surprise smackdowns, from Faust to Iron Maiden Jean and beyond. It's fast, flashy, and way deeper than you'd expect from a licensed anime tie-in. Yo may be chill, but this game, absolute fire. CIMA the enemy. Hope. That's what the alien baddies in CIMA the enemy are snacking on, like emotional vampires with a dungeon-building side hustle. Released in 2003 for the GBA as Frontier Stories in Japan, this strange, slept-on RPG from Neverland and Natsume flips the usual grindy formula by blending real-time combat, strategy puzzle mechanics, and an existential gut punch about hope being the ultimate life force. Sounds deep, right? Well, strap in. You play as Ark, a hot-headed rookie gate guardian, and Ivy, his snarky senior by like a whole month, who were just vibing on a train full of settlers before BAM! CMR hijacks the whole thing and drags it into a twisted, hope-sapping dimension. From there, your job is to escort 14 NPCs, each with wildly different skills, temperaments, and willingness to listen, through labyrinths designed to drain their willpower. You'll split the party, hit synchronized switches, juggle enemies, and stop settlers from doing classic NPC things like wandering into lava. Ark and Ivy grow through their clashing personalities, while characters like Van Rose, the grumpy loner, Shelley, the voice of reason, and Jester, the mysterious mentor, make the story feel way more mature than you'd expect from a pixelated rescue mission. You're not just fighting aliens, you're fighting despair, which is pretty metal. Shonen Jump's One Piece. This one's a real treasure buried deep in the GBA vault. One Piece, also known as Shonen Jump's One Piece, is a quirky, US-only beat-em-up that dropped anchor exclusively on American shores while 4Kids was still localizing the anime. Developed by Dimps and published by Bandai, it plays like a classic side-scrolling brawler with a stretchy twist. And no, it never made it to Japan, making it one of the rarest booty in the One Piece game universe. You step into the sandals of Monkey D. Luffy, whose gum abilities let him smash, stretch, and slap marines and pirates across platforming heavy levels. The game follows the East Blue saga, so expect to throw hands with Buggy, Smoker, and other familiar faces, though they may sound suspiciously like Saturday morning cartoon rejects, thanks to the 4Kids influence. The combat is a simple one-button mashing frenzy, but the environments have fun interactivity and collectible treasures that'll keep you revisiting cleared stages like a true Straw Hat hoarder. You also get summon assists from Zoro and the gang, who pop in, deal damage, and peace out like anime Avengers. Is it canon accurate? Absolutely not. Is it fun? Totally. It's the gum punch of nostalgic chaos you didn't know you needed. Dynasty Warriors Advance. Imagine cramming Dynasty Warriors' massive battlefield chaos into a tiny Game Boy Advance cartridge and somehow still managing to squeeze in Lu Bu. That's Dynasty Warriors Advance for you, a 2005 handheld spin-off that said, "Who needs a PlayStation when we've got pixels and button mashing?" Developed by Omega Force and published by Koei, with Nintendo handling international duties, it's the only DW title to grace the GBA, and it's kind of like if you tried to reenact Romance of the Three Kingdoms on a flip phone. The game boils things down to a lean roster of 13 warriors, split between Wei, Wu, Shu, and one very unlockable Lu Bu, who's still just as terrifying, even at 32 bits. Musu mode is the main draw here. Complete it once with any of the 3 starting characters from a faction, and you unlock their boss. Do it again, and boom, Lu freaking boo. Gameplay-wise, it's your classic Dynasty Warriors experience, minus the hundreds of enemies. GBA limitations meant you'd often be slapping 2 guys around in a foggy hallway, but hey, at least you could do it on a road trip. The reception was, mixed. Critics griped about repetition and watered-down action, but some players actually appreciated its bite-sized warlord chaos. Sure, it's not the grand spectacle the series is known for, but this was peak pocket warfare for fans who wanted to take the Yellow Turban Rebellion on the bus.
First ball, ready, go ball.
Dual blades. Most GBA games were content with a bit of jumping, slashing, and calling it a day, but Dual Blades walked into the ring wearing anime muscles and screaming, "I want blood." Developed by Vivid Image and published by Metro 3D, this one-on-one fighter was a side-scrolling combat fiesta packed into a pocket-sized cartridge, complete with dramatic announcer voice, crunchy pixel gore, and surprisingly deep mechanics for a handheld title from the early 2000s. The story? Oh, it's gloriously ridiculous. You're in a world where warriors battle with magical dual blades to gain power, glory, and the occasional gratuitous headlopping. It's part medieval fantasy, part Mortal Kombat, and all about who can uppercut someone into a splash of pixels the fastest. There are 9 fighters, each with their own backstory, special weapons, and enough angsty lore to fuel a 2000s anime open. Gameplay is simple at first. 2 buttons for attack and jump, but it's deceptively rich. You've got power boosts, parries, unlockable moves, and yes, brutal finishing strike. The visuals are dark, moody, and full of beefy sprite action, while the soundtrack goes hard for a GBA game, like a metal album trapped in an 8-bit cage. It's violent, weird, and totally over the top, and for some reason, exclusive to the West. Japan never saw it, which honestly makes this chaotic slice of sword-swinging carnage feel like an underground legend. Dual blades? More like duel to the death. Steel Empire. You ever wanted to fly a freaking blimp into space to battle a steampunk dictator with lightning bombs? Well, buckle up, because Steel Empire on GBA is the gloriously bonkers alt-history shooter that makes that dream a pixelated reality. Originally a cult Genesis classic, this handheld remake brings its retro bullet hell energy, vintage anime vibes, and full-on diesel punk drama straight to your sweaty palms, with biplanes, airships, and evil rail cannons all ready to ruin your day. You play as a pilot from the Republic of Silverhead, the last steam-powered bastion of freedom against General Styron's coal-fueled Motorhead empire. Your mission? Pilot either the Agile Striker or the tanky Z-01 Zeppelin, blast through war trains, airborne dreadnoughts, subterranean death tunnels, and finally chase Styron's iron moustache into space and wreck his orbital death blimp over the freaking moon. This feels like a revenge opera with propellers. Gameplay is tight and satisfying. You fire in both directions, collect power-ups, summon support drones, and unleash the Imamio Thunder, aka "Oh no, I broke the game, lightning nuke." And you level up RPG style by snagging XP from exploding steambots. With massive bosses and gorgeous steampunk aesthetics, this one doesn't just scroll, it soars. Dokapon Monster Hunter. On the surface, Dokapon Monster Hunter might look like your average cutesy GBA RPG, but don't let the cartoony vibes fool you. This little gem is a chaotic blend of dungeon crawling, monster snatching, card flipping, and good old rock paper scissors brawls. Originally dropped in Japan as Dokapon Q, Monster Hunter, and later unleashed across North America and Europe, it puts you in the boots of a wannabe adventurer stuck on Dokapon Island, trying to earn your license by clobbering monsters and acing exams. Yeah, because nothing screams final exam like punching a slime with a giant axe. Set in the quirky town of Poponga, the game kicks off with randomized dungeons that shift every time you enter, meaning no two runs ever feel the same. You'll collect loot, unlock new gear, and bump into monsters that either chase you, run away, or just awkwardly vibe around. Once you bump into one, it's battle time. First, a card flip determines who gets the attack or defense advantage, then it's rock, paper, scissors to the death. Seriously. The catch? Win the RPS round, and you unleash special attacks or buffs. Lose it, and you're left eating your opponent's damage while clutching your pride. Add in a Pokemon-light monster collecting system where you can capture weakened foes and use them in future fights. And you've got a game that's basically Yu-Gi-Oh! Meets Mystery Dungeon with a side of slapstick strategy. Ninja 5-0. A ninja who's also a cop. That's not just a pitch, it's a lifestyle. In Ninja 5-0, or Ninja Cop if you live in Powland, you play as Joe Osugi, the most deadpan named ninja in gaming history. And he's here to karate kick terrorism back to the Stone Age. Released in 2003 for the GBA by Hudson Soft and Konami, this game didn't just fly under the radar, its stealth rolled past store shelves, making it one of the most criminally underrated and collectible handheld games of all time. Joe's job? Rescue hostages, dismantle a masked terrorist syndicate, and make grappling hooks look cooler than Batman ever could. The game combines tight side-scrolling action with some spicy stealth elements and a grapple mechanic that lets you zip-line across levels like a caffeinated Spider-Man with throwing stars. Combat is snappy. You get a katana and shurikens, but your real power is in how slickly you move, slashing baddies and pulling off aerial ninja gymnastics like a boss. Across 5 missions with 3 levels and a boss fight each, Joe dives into airports, skyscrapers, and enemy bases full of masked goons drunk on mystical power. The action's fast, precise, and unforgiving, just like a true ninja cop should be. With its 2025 re-release, the legend finally rises from the shadows. If you missed Joe's original tour of duty, now's your chance to answer the call of justice with a sword and a grapple. Wade Hixton's Counter-Punch. Have you ever wondered what would happen if Punch-Out took a detour through a monster truck rally, picked up a hitchhiking mullet, and slammed face-first into a cartoon fever dream? That's 2004's Wade Hixton's Counter-Punch for the Game Boy Advance. A criminally underrated boxing gem where every fight feels like a bizarro sitcom pilot. And every punch is backed by southern charm, neon rave energy, and duct tape-fueled determination. The story kicks off with our lovable redneck Wade, stranded in the desert, after his duct-taped car finally gives up. A mechanic named Mac drags him to the bizarrely punch-obsessed town of Big Piney. One bar fight later, and boom, Wade's suddenly on the fast track to becoming the town's boxing champ under the wing of Don, a shady promoter with enough hair to summon 1980s thunder. Gameplay, it's a spiritual sibling to Punch-Out, with beautifully hand-drawn sprites, hilarious pre-fight trash talk, and reflex-heavy timing, where dodging and countering are key. Every opponent is a walking stereotype on overdrive, a demonic hot dog-loving bruiser, a raver girl with glowstick rage, a purple hat-wearing pimp who speaks fluent Izzle, and even Wade's own beer-fueled evil doppelganger. And yes, there's a boxing gorilla named Killer Gorilla who also does Don's taxes. It's stupidly fun, surprisingly polished, and filled with more weird personality than most AAA games. If you ever wanted to uppercut a glow stick out of a clown's rave pants, this is your moment. Wade Hixton, he's a legend. Car Battler Joe. What if Twisted Metal met Pokemon at a used car dealership, drank a bottle of NOS, and then said, "Let's add XP bars"? That's Car Battler Joe, a wild vehicular combat RPG where your ride is your sword, your arena is the open road, and your 16-year-old protagonist is named Joe, because of course he is. Developed by Ancient, yes, the same folks behind Streets of Rage, and published by Natsume, this GBA gem dropped custom paint, RPG stats, and explosive highway justice into one glorious handheld package. The plot? Joe's got one dream: become the best dang car battler around and make enough cash to upgrade his junker into a battle tank with flames on the side. That's it. No prophecy, no world-ending doom. Just good old-fashioned teen ambition, wrench-turning and motorized mayhem. You'll take missions, blast bandits, collect loot, and haul it all back to town for sweet upgrades. Engines, weapons, tires, armor, spoilers, you name it. Combat plays like a top-down bullet ballet, where enemy trucks, bikes, and Mad Max rejects shoot back while you drift around them firing missiles and spinning like a Beyblade with bad intention. Add in a full customization garage and an economy system that lets you build your dream death mobile piece by piece, and you've got an action RPG that feels weirdly deep. It's bizarre, it's beautiful, and with music by Yuzo Koshiro, it sounds like a funk-fueled car chase through synth heaven. Drill Dozer. Some games let you run, some let you jump, but Drill Dozer lets you bulldoze through walls, enemies, and the laws of platforming physics with a freaking drill-powered mech suit. Developed by Game Freak, yeah, the Pokemon guys flexing their non-monster catching muscles, this GBA exclusive gem is a criminally underplayed masterpiece where you don't stomp on enemies, you drill through their souls. You play as Jill, the pint-sized daughter of the Red Dozer's gang leader, who straps into a tanky mech called the Drill Dozer after rival gang the Skulkers jack her late mother's red diamond. What starts as a revenge heist quickly turns into an all-out gemstone smackdown involving psychic museums, alien masks, robot police wardens, and fish possessed by glowing jewels. Yup! It gets weird. Gameplay is a 2D platformer, but the gimmick is gold. Jill's Drill Dozer has 3 gears. Holding R spins forward, L spins backward, and leveling up lets you rev it harder and longer. You'll solve puzzles, open secret passages, and obliterate foes in 17 massive levels filled with traps, switches, and brainy boss fights that require precision drilling and big energy. There's also rumble support built into the cartridge, a rare GBA feature that adds a whole layer of tactile chaos as you tunnel through mayhem. Jill even fist fights the final boss after her mech is wrecked, proving she doesn't need a dozer to be a badass. It's chunky, charming, and 100% destructive in the best way. Drill Dozer doesn't just rule, it rumbles. And that's 15 hidden GBA beasts that were too bold, too strange, or just too cool to ever go mainstream. Talk about drill-powered mech suits, monster-collecting RPS battles, or car-fighting RPGs. Yes, that's real. The GBA library is a chaotic playground of brilliance. So don't forget to like, comment, and let us know which obscure GBA title deserves a comeback, or which one totally blew your mind today. And hey, if we missed your favorite oddball, yell at us in the comments. Nicely.